Hey, Tactical 40K here. Where are we at? All I know is there's a new balance sheet. That's why I'm doing this video, because I really haven't done too much. I'm still working on my Vanguard vets here. Here's my bro right here. My first one. He's almost done. I got to do some touch-ups on him. And then I started building a second one. He's not even close. Like, I still got to pay him. Got a third one. I kind of do them in steps. Like, I go through little steps and then kind of, just so I have them. It feels like I got something growing besides just really working on one dude. And then it takes me forever, but it does take me forever. I take my time a little bit, and I'm lacking in a lot of time lately. But so I still got a packet of these dudes and this guy to put together, and then the box set or whatever we're gonna get to fill this out. But hey, this balance data sheet that came out or whatever, or these I'm gonna call it points changes, and we're gonna talk about Space Marine specific because I don't really care about the rest of them right now as I build this, try to build a more competitive Raven Guard list while keeping it kind of fluffy, and then also just having fun with it and trying to build something this for the overall channel here. But what it has done is I built that list. I've kind of went over it when I first started the channel, the list that I initially wanted to build. I mentioned that it's going to change a little bit. It changes with some of the meta, changes with what Games Workshop does, which right now, what they did for this, whatever that's coming out now, is going to change my list. And it's going to change it for the better, I believe. Now, granted, we lost things like Armor of Contempt, which helps out, but I got some guys with storm shields and stuff, and it might help. And I anticipated something happen. So, like, I think one of my lists, we're running Blade Guard vets that have storm shields. Might have to maybe bring some Terminators with storm shields, or you never know. But anyway, so one of the things that happened for us Raven Guard guys, well, you might have heard about all the generic points reductions, whether it be some of the HQ slots, which you look at it, certain captains, which I talked about doing a Smash Captain. When we get that Battle Force box for the Raven Guard, turning that one Shrike into a Smash Captain. Well, if he wins with Thunder Hammer, those points have been reduced. But in the HQ, the most important thing is that Shrike himself has been decreased in points. I think it's 120 now instead of 135. That's a significant price increase. He was already good or decent for the points. Now he's even better, right? Because he doesn't evolve anyway, so it's like not a bad character. Now, most Space Marine chapters, they had similar reductions, but really percentage wise and for what you get, that's a heck of a move. What does that enable me to do, really? Well, that one little 15-point jump there, coupled with some of these other points reductions, allows me to field another unit. And yeah, and our Armor of Contempt and some of those little things there have really might have put a hamper on some things. But being able to utilize extra points to field another unit, like I've talked about this, if something were to happen, I was like, well, maybe we can really realign our fast attack scenario. Which, if you've watched other channels, you've probably gone through all the points reductions, which is pretty systemic over all the Space Marines, besides like the Vanguard vets, I believe, and a few other units. Most units have had a points reduction, or at least a reduction in gear. And what we're going to talk about right now to keep this video semi-short is the ones that are really going to affect me. The one I'm super excited about it, and it's not, I don't want to. It's not that any of these other ones are insignificant, because like the things that happen to the Incursors or the Infiltrators, they are significant because their war gear is gone down. So that saves you 10 points right there on both those units. If you're running it, that could save you potentially 30 points if you're running 3 slots, so you couple that with like a Shrike or whatever, now you got 45 points to play with. Okay, now we look at some of these other units. The one I'm going to go straight to it because we're already 4 minutes into it, but the fast attack suppressor's down 10 points. They're at 90, I believe. That saves you another 10 points to put somewhere else. Bam, these dudes that I bought, I was going to plasma the heck out of them, right? Now I'm going to potentially either run a second unit of those with plasmas, or add on to this one and just buff up this one unit. And it's because, let me look at this just to get my stuff straight, but I believe that, what in the world happened here? That you can get the plasmas for free now. Not that their points went down, I don't believe, but their plasma, because you used to do, I think plasmas are extra like 20 points a mile or something. It was something insane. but it's, you know, worth it to have that kind of shooting, that kind of power, wielding on the battlefield. I'm trying to look it up real quick. I know it's taking time. I had it pulled up, but I thought it did, for some reason it didn't have the it did not have the fast attack area. But I just knew off the top of my head the suppressors, you drop them 10 points. You got these guys, a very powerful unit, still a powerful unit, and even more so now you can run these plasma guns for essentially free. I think they're now it's just a straight I don't know, 40 points a model, I think. Could be wrong. It's late. All I know is you get the plasma guns for free. So now you just start running these guys. Toughness 5. You got the wielding dual assault plasmas. I mean, I don't know what it sounds pretty dang good with me. So you save points right there. All of a sudden you can wield another unit. Maybe, which I don't know. Maybe you run another troop slot. Maybe you run another fast attack. Maybe if we can get another, like I said, another unit of that. I don't know. I'm leaning towards buffing up these guys, or maybe putting a Terminator squad with storm shields. We'll see how many elite slots we have left. I think I might be full, so the fast attack was kind of where I was leaning towards, because I was going to get that and run some Reavers, which the Reavers points went down. So now Reavers are, you know, that's also where I'm saving points. So essentially I'm already thinking I'm already saving 100, 200 points off this, just because of all the, all the units besides my Vanguard vets. The points have gone down. Well, maybe not eliminators. I don't think they did. But anyway, essentially saving a lot of points where you can wield you can really buff some more units, or maybe add an additional unit, maybe another, Eradicators, they got a buff too. So maybe you throw in one of those. I don't know. We're going to look into it. Right now I'm leaning towards throwing some more plasma guns in there. But point being, this is really going to, I mean, it sucks you lost a few things, but the points reduction is really going to kind of shape the list a little bit better. It allows us to field a little more firepower. And if you can kind of obfuscate a little bit of that loss of armor and contempt by running some storm shield guys, hey, all the better. Or just due to the points reductions, you can field those extra plasma guns or melta guns. Get that free, whatever heavy melt is. I think the Eradicators get those now. I can't pull it up now. But anyway, it was something like that. They got it. But it's going to give me a little more flexibility to put a little more firepower in there. I was really running against points there. And, I mean, I still thought I had a fairly strong list, especially if I played them right. Like I said, Raven Guard is not the most advantageous Space Marine unit. That's why we picked them. One, because I also like the lore and how they supposedly fight, but they're just not good in the meta. But running a certain way, my theory is if I run a certain list and play it a certain way, that we could be effective. This allows me to wield a little more in the way of troops. It allows me maybe to be a little more sneaky, because I can get characters. Maybe I put a different character on. Maybe I get either units with more firepower. Maybe I can throw another character on there, like the Librarian. It gives me a little more flexibility to use, what is it? Is it Shadow Step? I can't quite remember, where you can move characters around the board. Also, another thing, I think I haven't brought this up, but since I got this Reaver Lieutenant, because I plan on grabbing these Reavers, and the Reavers are cheaper now too. They're actually, now they don't look that bad for the price. Since I'm running another Lieutenant, I can bring a second Lieutenant. It doesn't fill that combat slot, so it does give me that flexibility to possibly throwing in a Librarian. I don't know. But right now, like I said, the list that I'm pushing towards, possibly that I'm leaning towards, is that Smash Captain, Shrike, 2 Lieutenants, utilizing those guys to buff certain squads as I move up the board. Smash Captain's looking pretty strong, and then you got Shrike. They're buffing, they're running and gunning and getting in close and trying to throw some things out, utilizing the troops, getting on objectives. And that's also, I guess, a positive the Marines have now, is that you can secure objectives and then move off of them, and they still count towards you still hold that objective. But anyway, use our fast attack to kind of interdict any kind of potential threats. Then run some of our elites up the board as not a main effort, in the fact that we're going to be fighting and kind of stopping enemy advances and really tying them up. And I believe on that list I have the Blade Guard vets. But anyway, now I'm going into whole different things. I wanted to talk about the points reduction. Points reduction across the board. Shrike is down significantly percentage-wise. Inceptors looking pretty solid with their ability now to run those plasmas. Reavers points reductions makes them actually, you know, not terrible. Not only do they look cool, but now at that points cost, they're not that bad. I wish they'd move into the troop slots, especially for Raven Guard. The Helix Gauntlet now essentially free for infiltrators. The Haywire Mine free. All that war gear stuff is free for those guys now. That saves you some points. It just, to me, I was actually excited about it. I know a lot of guys are like, armor and contempt's gone, but you can play around that with storm shields and stuff. And the points reduction seems, I'd rather, you know, what I've learned in warfare is overwhelming firepower tends to win battles, right? That's why, like, when you look at like a Imperial Guard being able to field a lot of shots into enemy, I mean, they have just fielding a lot of people with guns. Now, granted, you got to be able to take casualties, but if you can get those guns in the fight and throwing rounds down range, somebody's going to get hit. I don't care how bad of a shot you are, pretty much. So being able to put that firepower on the board a little bit more allows that army to be more flexible and effective. And that's my opinion. That's what I've seen that tends to work in battles. Is you can't underestimate the ability of overwhelming firepower to dictate battles. So anyway, Tactical 40K, I appreciate the support. Like, subscribe. Talk to you later. Peace.